All right, so we got a nice prospect spot. Ice looks beautiful. We're gonna drill our first hole, so see how it goes. All right, so we got 3 holes drilled. We got 1 fishing hole for inside. We got minnows and drinking water, and then another fishing hole for basically my or Ryan's side. We'll set up the tent right around this area, and then we'll be able to fish inside, and we're gonna set up tip-ups on the outside. But it's time to shovel off some snow. All right, this is the framework for our place. We're gonna shovel all the snow out, and that way we can have a place for the big tent and get some light in there. I say once we clear all the snow out, put some light down there, and hopefully it'll attract the fish. Setting up the tent, we got the ice cleared off. This is gonna be our home for the next 6 days. You just pop it out right there.
Yep.
Nice. You got all the sides popped up. Now we're getting in position. Pop the top up.
There you go, homie.
All right, we got the snow cleared off the ice. Got the Russian bear tent in place. We still got to put the screen portion on. Ryan's putting the ice spikes in. It's looking pretty good so far. One lesson I learned: get your tripod and camera out so you can film some of the setup. But I'm just doing it in spots right now. And this is the cool part about this tent, is it actually opens up and it has a screen portion, and we're gonna have an insulated wall. But we have the ice holes for fishing and fresh water inside the tent. And then we gotta put the insulated floor in the bottom. So show how beautiful this scenery is. We're out in the middle of the lake, setting up our camp. There's our camp. Looking good so far. Making good progress. We are still making progress. I got my cot in the tent so far, and we have the wood burner set up. So it's looking really good. And then we have the ice fishing holes open right here, so we can do some fishing inside the tent. Okay, so it's day 1, still doing setup, but this is kind of the hardest part of the getting everything going. We're gonna get a fire going. It's gonna be the first fire of the trip. We're trying some new fire starters. These are tumbleweeds, all natural fire starters. And then go ahead and get a fire going so we can get warmed up. It's definitely cold out here. We're kind of getting wet, messing with the water and the ice, but we're almost done with setup. Once we get this going, we can burn some of the wood, and then we gotta go get some more wood to last the night. And then I think it's about lunchtime, don't you think, Ryan?
Yeah.
This Russian bear stove, I've seen it in Ryan's videos, but never got to use it. These are cool little tumbleweeds, look at that. They're like twisted up twine. And then you set it in there, as the base, put some kindling on it, and fire it up. Got our water kind of sitting above me. You probably can't see it, but it's a life straw gallon bag. Alright, let's see how good this thing works. Lit up right away. Ryan actually got this for lighter for me. It's nice because it has the extension, so you don't have to worry about trying to get the lighter in there too far.
Or burning yourself.
Or burning yourself. Yeah, I'm hoping we can get warmed up after getting the setup. We've been outside since about, I want to say, 8 a.m.
Yeah, it's
8:30.
Somebody forgot his coat.
Yeah, Ryan is he did forget his coat, so he's gonna have to bundle up a little bit more than normal.
And I inadvertently bought too big of a cot, so I'm sleeping on the ice.
Yeah, so The spot where you see the camera's actually pointing at the wood stove, that's where his cot should have been, but it doesn't fit. So he's gonna have to sleep on the ice. But I got some thermal pads and stuff that work out pretty good. Got the fire going, and this wood stove is awesome. It actually has the glass side, so you can see it. But we're getting there. Then you see the glass right here. It's got a nice fire, starting to get the heat up. We're kind of testing everything out too, the spacing. I do have my cot set up right next to it, and I want to make sure nothing gets too hot right here. But you know, it'll definitely keep me warm. We're just going to continue working on setup. Tell you what, that heat sure feels nice. I'm kind of getting warmed up. I got my gloves thawing by the fire. Taking a quick break. Got some Mega Omega trail mix. It's really good. It's got walnuts, dried mango, almonds, cranberries, and pumpkin seeds. Nice little pick-me-up. We haven't had time to eat yet, but we're just getting some water, some snacks, and warming up. On our way to get our first load of wood. So we got Ryan Outdoors, the tent all set up. Got my axe, my saw. I finally made it to land. There's our tent out there. Got our sleds here. Got really big rocks on this coast. A lot of animal activity. And now we just got to get some deadfall. It started snowing a little bit. Definitely getting pretty cold out, and we only got a little bit of daylight left, so let's get to work. All right, we're gonna go and take this tree down real quick. I got a nice saw and my refurbished axe. Let's get it done. That's what we got so far, and this is kind of our process over here. We're chopping dead trees down, deadfall, pulling it out, de-limbing it, put it into the sled. All right, we're losing daylight fast, but this is my processing area. I'm chopping wood like crazy, sawing it up for the fire, and over here we got a little wood pile started right outside the tent. So that's pretty cool. And then while I was chopping some wood, Ryan Outdoors set up the tip-ups. We'll go check those out. So I got one outside my window that I'll be watching. It is, like I said, it's pretty dark out, so hope you can see it. And the snow is really deep, and it's about 15 degrees out. Here's my tip-up. Unfortunately, nothing yet, but waiting for that flag to go. So right now we do have a fire going in the wood stove. You're getting hydrated. Cannot express the importance of being hydrated out in this cold. You don't feel thirsty, but you are. And this is probably the coldest experience I've had, just being outside and being away from everything. It's extremely quiet in the woods because there's nothing around. But day one, just kind of a setup day. I can't really call it day one, but filming's been all over the place. That's just because I didn't have nothing set up and pulled off. Next time I'll have all my gear pulled off. So I'm using the Life Straw bottle, so I just fill this up and we're just drinking lake water. So I just take the bottle, dip it down here, fill it up to the max line, put it in the top with the filter. I got drinkable water. All right, it's dinner time. We're limited. It's about 5, almost 6 o'clock. Special thanks to Jack of Trades, hooking me up with the Storeway Gourmet Chena Masala. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's chickpeas, vegetables, and rich yogurt curry with rice. It's kind of I don't know if you can see it. The lighting's not the best, But like I said, we're really limited on time and setup. We wanted to cook a dinner tonight, but setup is crazy. That's all I say. I mean, this is getting the wood out here, getting the tent set up, you know, getting the positions, you know, getting the holes set up for the fishing. We are fishing. We brought the tip ups inside, so that's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some water, and we'll check this out. All right, so it's all ready to go. I'm using Tracy Phillips sent me this tactical spork. And it's perfect because it's a huge spork, and it's definitely digging deep in this pouch. This pouch is really deep. So again, this is chickpeas, vegetables, and rich yogurt curry with rice. Definitely has that like a yellow look to it. Let's give it a try. It's really good. A lot of seasoning. It's got quality ingredients right off the bat. I can definitely taste the seasonings come through with the chickpeas, the rice. Reconstituted really good. And I got some MRE crackers I'm probably going to eat with it. Just add a little filler. Definitely burned a lot of calories today, so trying to refill those. We got a huge day coming up tomorrow. So probably going to eat this and go to bed because I am whooped. Okay, so it's morning time, and we've come to our first challenge. The floor is about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of water. So all their stuff in the floor got wet, which is a very dangerous thing in the cold. Last thing you want to do is get wet in the cold. So we're going to have to peel everything up, clean it, dry it out, and then figure out how to keep the water. We had it set up from the ice holes, but we think the heat melted our ice dams, so to speak. But yeah, I'll show you some of the water. Okay, we got our fire going again to get us warm, but there's about 2 inches of water down here, and it's basically not good for living conditions, so we are going to have to fix that. Alright, get my coffee in, having a little bit of breakfast. I'm having that Omega trail mix for breakfast. Not quite hungry yet. So here's the problem. We got a bunch of wet stuff. It's 10 degrees outside. It's snowing, almost blizzard, I'd say. And we got about the water in the bottom. So drinking coffee, and we're going to start moving stuff outside and start working on plan B. So this is the level of the water at the bottom of our tent. And I had my stuff stored under here. I had a towel to kind of protect it, but that towel was totally soaking. I had some of my stuff get wet, some of Ryan's stuff get wet, and said it's definitely something we got to work on. All right, so it's about 5 a.m., 10 degrees, it's snowing. We got quite a bit of snow, and we got the water. It's actually leaking out on the bottom of the tent outside. So we're going to have to do a total redesign. But it's cold, and we got to start moving the stuff out. So I know you've heard of air mattresses and insulator pads, but have you ever heard of a water bed? This is what Ryan decided he wanted to sleep on. This is actually all water. So we have nothing but water inside the entire tent. So it's a little bit worse than we thought. How'd you sleep there, Ryan?
Oh, swimmingly.
Okay, so we got everything moved outside. It's not the ideal situation at all. There's the floor. We had to get that kind of laid out. There's my cot. It's out in the cold. And this is the water activity. Look at that water. Unbelievable. Okay, it's 7 a.m. Still snowing out. We got both doors open to the tent. We laid about 4 inches of snow inside the tent, and we're trying to like freeze it up. So we still got our ice fishing holes, and I believe you're supposed to just leave the snow down, but it's a lesson learned. So now we're just gonna refill it back with snow. Probably gonna go on a hike and let it freeze up. All right, so we got set up round 2. Ryan Outdoors starting the fire. We just got the wood burner back in. What we did is we put these, there's a floor, zippable floor in after the packed snow. And now we're going to just kind of heat everything up and see if we start getting water through the floor again. We have not had the best of weather to get everything outside either, so now we got kind of a blizzard going on. Okay, it's about 9:30. Got everything back in the tent. We got my cot and all that stuff, but still a lot of stuff that needs to be thawed out. And the floor's holding up. I'm not seeing the water coming through yet, but time will tell. Got all our towels and clothes hanging up, trying to dry out all the way around. Alright, we decided to go on a hike. We're going to check out some islands around here and try and stay warm. A lot of wind. Ryan's got a head start. So we're going to hit that island over there and just kind of explore it. Maybe get some more firewood. There's our tent. You see the winds are absolutely raging. I'm excited to get to this island, get out of this wind. Okay, we made it to the island. I'm hungry, it's lunchtime. So I'm gonna bust open this meal cold weather scrambled eggs with cheese, Western style. I got this from Inky Snoot. I'm gonna eat this for lunch and I'm actually gonna review it. So you can see that in another video. Okay, we made it back from our adventure. It was a cold walk home. Like I said, the cameras did not like the temperature, so I could not get a lot of footage coming back. But it was like the snow, blizzard just going crazy. The wind was, what do you think the wind chill is, Ryan?
I'm betting the wind chill is about probably -3.
Yeah, about -3 wind chill. So I got back. I did set up 2 tip-ups on the other side. We did have 2 set up earlier, but I want to change position, try and scout out the right area. And then Ryan just set up some fishing poles so we can try and catch some fish inside the tent. Update on the tent. It's actually pretty dry right now. Trying to get everything situated back from our waterlog event. The water is out, the snow is holding. It is a little wet in some areas, but because we have the water-proof bottom, water-resistant bottom, everything's looking good so far. But we'll see you tomorrow when we wake up. And next thing I want to do is try and catch the fish. I'd really like fish tacos tonight. So I got the 2 tip-ups up. I'm going to try to catch one with the couple fish poles we got. Okay, I just wanted to show one tip up real quick. And see, I just set it up, but it's already frozen over. No flags yet. Hoping to have fish dinner tonight, but we have other backup plans. Figured while I'm out here watching these tip ups, I should process some wood. It's gonna be colder, even colder tomorrow. Alright, it's dinner time. We're gonna have some sweet and sour chicken. We got some possible wraps we had. Put them on, and then Ryan's cutting up the chicken. And while he's cooking, I'm fishing. Since we didn't get, I got a line in the hole right now, running a teardrop with a minnow, trying to get at least a walleye. But since we didn't catch any fish, we're gonna eat some sweet and sour chicken. It's we're gonna have to do tonight, but it's gonna be pretty cold tomorrow. Learned a lot in the cold tonight, or today, you know, about waking up on a waterbed. These filters, right? So we got Sawyer filters. They're all great in the summertime, and I have nothing but respect for Sawyer filters and Life Straw, because I got the Life Straw bottle. But once these get cold, they start getting the ice chips in them, and they're rendered useless. We did a hike about a mile out to an island, and it was freezing. And I was like, oh, I'll bring the Sawyer. And I had some water that I pulled from the lake, one of the lake holes. And it was basically just ice chips. And we tried to, at that point I decided I had to boil water. So long story short, or long story long, it's just a matter of how much the cold weather has really changes the game and makes you improvise. From, you know, this is only day one, and we're already having to adapt and improvise a lot. So, but I'm really excited for dinner, and trying to stay warm. It's about 6 degrees, and it's supposed to get below or 1 by midnight. So I'm gonna really test this wood burner out and really test this tent out. I'm excited for that. Cooking chicken on the wood burner. Alright, Ryan just got done cooking some sweet and sour chicken on the wood stove. And after this cold, long day I had, this is going to be awesome. Good news is we have no water on the floor. Bad news is it's about -2 out right now. It's about 6 a.m. Getting ready to make some coffee. Good morning. Like I said, we woke up, we didn't have any water on the floor, so that's a huge bonus. We can actually kind of plan out the day, but problem is it's going to be really cold out. We're sitting at, I think this thing says 8:20, but it's probably 7:20 because I'm an hour ahead my normal time, and it's -3 out, and it's supposed to get colder, so it might be a lot of inside fishing, but kind of staying out of the elements. It's supposed to be a little bit warmer tomorrow, so I can do some exploring, and we want to ice fish in probably other parts. But I'll tell you what, I've learned a lot in the short time I've been here, especially about the cold. I mean, you have Sawyer filter systems, you know, they're great, but this is all ice, and ice doesn't go through a filter. When the filter freezes, it doesn't filter water. So a lot of the time I found myself, you know, yesterday we went out, I was all excited, I was going to filter some water from the lake. I just ended up having to boil water and boil it up. Now we are filtering water ahead of time. Jack Trades hooked me up with these water containers, and I'm using a Life Straw gravity feed that Ryan brought, and I'm just feeding it into this. And I know it's got a yellow color, but there's tannin in the water, and the water actually tastes really good. But having it ahead of time really makes it easy for cooking and stuff. And speaking of cooking, we're going to be making biscuits and gravy. I'm using the steam bake. I got some Bisquick buttermilk biscuits. I'm going to be using the Dutch mess kit. I got the steam bake kit. I'll show a little bit of that. And then got some country gravy mix. So that's going to be really nice to have some biscuits and gravy. I mean, we're sitting in the Cuboid 2.0, right? Russian Bear tent. It's insulated. It's a hot tent. We do have the wood stove going. But even with all that, we're only sitting about 37 degrees inside here. So we're still got to stay warm with our layers. But cooking always helps because we got to keep the fire going good and see what we get. So I'll show a couple pictures and video of the steam bake cooking. Alright, so I got the Packet Gourmet Baking Kit. This comes with silicone steamer-based wire whisk, 4 silicone muffin cups, spatula and scraper, and allows you to bake things like cornbread, biscuits, muffins, all out on a campfire, on a jet boil, and I'm actually going to be doing it on a wood stove, so it's going to be a good try. And for those wondering well, you know, we don't understand the applications of MREs. The normal American MREs, they have the retorts. This is rock solid. This is a brick of ice. I wanted hash browns to go with my breakfast, and I went outside, and obviously it froze solid. And FRH is not going to warm this up. So those wondering about why a freeze-dried Maine is in the meal cold weathers, that's why. And also a lot lighter. So a freeze-dried Maine would actually weigh a lot less than this as well. So I'm going to try and warm those hash browns up. No promises. But we are definitely going to make some biscuits. So I poured the biscuit mix into a Ziploc bag. I'm going to add a half cup of water like the instructions say. And I'm going to mix them in the bag and then use the bag as a kind of, once they get mixed, I'll cut the corner off and I can just squirt it into the silicone cups. I should be able to get 8 biscuits out of this mix. We'll see. And 8 biscuits, once they're all done and baked up, then I'll make up the gravy and have biscuits and gravy. Alright, got my pan all set up. I put the water in there, and then I put the silicone cups. I bought extra silicone cups as well so I can make batches, because once these are done, then I can just pop them out, let them cool, and throw another set of cups in there and make another set. So I made the biscuit in the Ziploc bag, and then I cut off the tip like a frosting container, and I'm just gonna put like a, you want to fill the cups about halfway, because if you fill them any more, then they will expand beyond holding and make quite a mess. So boom, fill them about halfway. They expand quite a bit, so always be ready for that. Once you get them in there, try to even out as best you can. You have to boil it for 1 minute, and then put the lid on it and simmer it for about 12 minutes, what I'm saying. And it looks exactly what I said, about 8 biscuits about this size. So get our first set of biscuits going. There we go. Biscuits are almost done in their first cook. Let me repurpose this trail mix bag that we used to mix up our 2 gravies. And I got the biscuits right here, steam baking. We got I got a sausage patty, maple sausage patty MRE, hash browns kind of boiling in this canteen cup. And we have some water boiling in the back for gravy. So I'm going to add the gravy mix up there, mix these up, and then we can start having the gravy. Alright, the biscuits are done. Look at that. Turned out pretty good. I'm going to put these to cool and set up another batch. Just got done with the gravy, and the first set of biscuits is done. Alright, so we got the hash browns, the maple sausage patty, both from MREs, steam baked biscuits, and now I'm going to add the gravy. Now that's a breakfast. Got gravy covering everything. Well, that breakfast absolutely hit the spot. I'm now drinking some coffee. What coffee is that? You got it handy? Right there. So from Hawaii?
Yep.
So I'm drinking some Kicking Horse coffee. It's really good. It's dark, sweet, smoky flavor. And got it from Ryan. Got it from Jack of Trade. So great coffee to have after breakfast. Now we gotta get dishes done, and then hopefully get some fishing in. Really want to catch some fish so we can have fish tacos. That's why it's always good to filter your water. Got like some bugs in here moving around. Whoa. I have a hard time focusing, but thank goodness for Life Straw. Tried ice fishing, but it's just too cold out. It's been -4 all day. We gotta get ready for a live stream. I'm gonna do a live stream tonight. But when we cut holes back in the ice, it flooded us, not inside luckily, but outside. So we have to call it today and see what we can do tomorrow. Hopefully we can get some good fishing tomorrow when it warms up. You see the water basically flooded all this out here. This is all by our tent. It's all the tent is like frozen inside. And this is where we were processing wood. And it flooded all that. So we can't have any fishing holes by the tent, or we're gonna have to get this. So I think we're gonna have to spend day 3 getting the tent freed up. We tried chiseling it out, but we're in 2 inches of ice. There's my saw horses for processing wood now. You can see they're underwater. I was hoping to get some fishing in, hoping to get a lot more things done. We got enough wood to cover it. It was really cold. It is warming up now. I think it's about 11 degrees outside, so it's a lot warmer than yesterday. Yesterday was like -5 at the worst. But yet again, the cold has thrown in another curveball. We wanted to move today. We went outside. I knew, I talked about this a little bit in day 2. When we opened up the holes, the water came out, saturated the tent on the bottom. Because it froze like super cold last night, the tent is all frozen in. So we got a couple options. Do we spend all day chiseling up the tent, or do we try to get some fishing in? But we're excited to go get some fishing. Ryan Outdoors has a tomahawk steak that we can go cook on an island. A couple great ideas, but then the wind picks up, and it's supposed to be like 30-mile-an-hour winds today. And walking across the ice and 30-mile-an-hour winds is no fun. Just standing out there is cold. But we're limited on wood. We have to go get wood today. We have to, we have to continue to get water. We're low on water. Like I said, it's just constant challenges out here. Definitely keeps on your toes, and we're trying to stay ahead of it. I wanted to review a 24-hour ration today too, but if I got to get all this stuff done, it's going to be a challenge. But I'll update you as the progress goes. I'm warming up some coffee on the stove. I got all dressed up because we're kind of saving the wood just in case we need to get warm real quick after we work on chisel ice or getting the game plan. I'm gonna make some coffee. I'm using the Taster Choice. I love that. It's great coffee. I have other coffees, but it's too cold to go get them right now on my pack. Winds are just a raging. That is not helping our situation. It's about 30-mile-an-hour winds right now. It's supposed to, hopefully, I don't know if it's going to go away or not. I hope so, because I'd really like to get some stuff done. So my plan for the current situation is to try and chisel off the ice. That problem's not going to go away, and I don't want to mess up Ryan's tent. We had a valuable lesson about cutting holes in ice and on the first night getting wet and then letting it freeze over and then trying to fish in it again, more water coming out. But good lesson. So next time we'll be even more prepared. So I'm gonna go and spend till noon digging out the tent. I'll show some of that, and then we'll see what the weather's like then. All right, here's the progress of chipping out this tent. It is getting damaged, because we are, even just using the blunt end of the axe is actually damaging it. So lesson learned. And then look at that, there's still water underneath the tent that's gonna just freeze back in. So we're actually gonna be moving to land. So we're gonna free this tent up. We got one side done. It's a lot of work, but we're chiseling it out. Probably, look how much ice is over here. Apologize for the wind noise. But it's basically under, I'd say 2 to 4 inches of ice. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it with the axe and then chisel it around. So we'll show that. So yeah, we're hoping once we get moved, we can have a campfire and we can still go offshore and fish if we want, but it's gnarly out here in the ice. And kind of have the best of both worlds out there. Since we can't have holes to fish in the tent, might as well just move to land. All right, so we've gotten the tent free, but there's no time to celebrate. The water is coming from underneath the tent, and it's going to refreeze if we don't move fast. So I'll show how we throw it. Got it free, and you might look at it and say, man, that looks like it sucks. It does. So I'll show you the video of the water coming back out, and we gotta start moving, and we're gonna go to some dry land and set up there. It's already starting to freeze. Okay, it's become kind of an emergency move. The wind's picking up like 40, 50 mile an hour gust. It's like blowing the tent down. And it's not a good situation because we're trying to get all our gear packed up as fast as we can because the water is freezing up the tent again. So I'll update when I can. All right, we had to get fast. The tent is not looking good. We're gonna try and set up on land right now. We just made it to land. As we were putting away the tent, it kind of collapsed, and we don't know what kind of damage it's got into. The wind was just too vigorous, so we're gonna try see what we can do. Okay, I think this is gonna still work out. We got a nice tear right there. Probably gonna have to use some Gorilla Tape or like super duct tape. We got a little tear over here, but it is standing, and it's just blocking the wind. We just gotta shovel the snow on the bottom and reset up camp. So this is what, setup 3, Ryan?
Yeah, technically.
But the good news is we're not in water. Okay, so we decided we were going to take the opportunity, since we have already packed everything kind of up, and you know, even though the tent was good, we're going to go to a different lake and do some other fishing, you know, finish up the trip there. Well, we got to the vehicle. He has the Jeep and I believe it's the module, you know how the key fob, it lost memory or something. So we're trying, I called 2 locksmiths, they won't come out, and we're going to try and call a dealership, but we are officially stranded out at a place right on the lake. So we're going to go back to camp, get everything situated, stay another night, and try to figure out the vehicle situation tomorrow. So I'm really exhausted. I got the tent set up. I got the wood burner going, so I'm staying warm. Stay here tonight. There's supposed to be a tow truck coming tomorrow. I'm melting some snow for some drinking water. I got everything hung up. I was basically soaking wet underneath, so I'm going to have to change everything. Ryan's out processing some more wood. We got some wood. I'll show that real quick. Got a nice fire going. Here's the snow that I'm melting for drinking water because we had to, melting still. I got a tea kettle too, and I just put it in my Life Straw bottle to drink, and that's the wood we got so far. But we're staying warm. Now it's I'm just taking a break to get something to eat. I haven't ate all day other than a couple protein bars and a First Strike bar. All right, got everything cleaned up. I'm gonna bust into this menu #1 beef stroganoff with noodles. It's a meal cold weather. Eat this for dinner. I think I got this from Days 45 Auto, but put a link down for his channel. It's gonna be a great meal for today. Got a apple cinnamon First Strike bar, fig bar. It's always good stuff. Got the main beef stroganoff with noodles. Type 2 vanilla dairy shake. It's really good for dessert, and then beverage-based powdered grape. Using the pouch that Flat Top Dave and LJ got me. Their channel is Booger Butt and Booger Butt, Food and Marie's. Put a link down below. But this is going to keep it warm and help it cook better, and I'll probably eat out of it because it's really hot to handle. Well, a couple things are going on. One, I think it's freezing rain out, or sleet, and our gravity feed bag stopped working. I don't know if it's froze, but we can't get any water out of that. So we're trying to use our Sawyer filters that aren't working great in the cold either. I just woke up. I'll tell you, it was a lot better sleeping on land than it was the ice. There was no wind and water and just a lot of cold out there. I mean, it almost felt too hot on the land camp. So we did stay warm. Was able to, actually, like I said, it felt really warm in here. Got everything dried out. Wrecker is supposed to be here around 9:30 in the morning. And I'm not sure what's going to happen after that. We might, you know, go on a different adventure if everything works out with the Jeep. But for coffee, I'm having some Bill's Brew from the meal cool weather I had last night. I just got to get my coffee in me. And then we got to work on packing up the tent, packing up everything into the Jeep, and then the Jeep will get towed to the nearest dealer, and we'll go from there. This ought to make packing even more fun. It's snowing pretty hard, and it's hard to keep our gear out. A lot of our gear already got snowed over. I think over here. So we'll have to dig that out. Make sure we didn't leave nothing. So I'm gonna need a good amount of energy to be packing in the snow, staying warm. And we gotta get it done before the wrecker comes. So for breakfast I'm gonna have, this is actually some instant porridge that Matt sent me from the MRA community. I'm really excited to try that out. And I'm gonna pair it with some granola from Mountain House Adventure Meals. And a filled French toast. And probably have some more coffee, I'm not sure. Maybe some German coffee if I can get to my pack. This is the porridge I got here. It doesn't have a Ziploc on the top, so I'll just use the clips. Let me put the hot water in there. This is 150 to 250 milliliters. I use less all the time, just to make it thicker. And I'm really excited to try this porridge. I don't think I've had anything like it. And get a good mix, and then I'm going to put it in the pouch that I got, the insulated pouch, to keep it warm and help it reconstitute. Fits in here perfect, and I can actually just seal it up, and then when I want to eat it, I just peel it back. So I love this thing. And it has a gusset on it, just like the pouch, or you can kind of hang it, because I got a few spots I could hang it in here. That's really cool. So a lot of good options. Set it aside for now. We wanted to do a lot more fresh meals, but because of all the hiccups and kind of problems that we've come across, it's been quicker just to throw down on some freeze-dried meals, some rations. So luckily I'm into rations and I got a lot of them. But that's kind of the thing, is we still have a venison pot roast we want to do, tomahawk steak, chicken quesadillas, a few things that we still have lined up, and I still have that steam bake kit I was going to use for other stuff, but it's just been too hard with everything going on. This is the coffee. It's from a German, I think a bag. There's a German ration I had actually got in the mail, and the main exploded, so I just gutted it and used the components, shared some with others. I wanted to review it really bad, but I got a couple other German rations in boxes that, I reviewed the one on my natural shelter trip. But yeah, I was just really wanted to try the components out of it. I was, like I said, I tried to do the surgery. I opened it up and I cleaned everything out, and then something else bursted. So I just called it and ripped it apart, and now I got the component. Looks like an oatmeal, and even though I mixed it with a little bit less water, it's still a little bit watery. But it tastes, it's really good. Just a natural base flavor. It's like a oatmeal and milk, but it's a little bit more creamier, like almost like a heavy cream. It's hard to explain, but it tastes very wholesome and perfect breakfast for right now. And porridge is, it's like semi-sweet. It's really good, subtle sweet to me. But I do have the French toast bun to eat with it. Alright, that was an awesome breakfast. Now we got a lot of work of packing. My only concern is with the storm. It's like snowing pretty good. The wrecker comes when it's supposed to, because we're going to tear everything down, put it in the Jeep. But if they don't come, then we'll be sitting in a Jeep that can't start. A couple things we can do to stay warm, like make a fire. But it also just complicates things, like the wrecker can't come at all. That means we have to unpack, put the tent back up, and stay another night. So a very interesting situation. Okay, we're all packed up, waiting for the wrecker to come. I'm just going through the campsite. We did chop a bunch of extra wood, but hopefully we won't need it. Don't want to have to set up again if we're taken down. But I'll update when the wrecker comes and next steps from there. Still no wrecker yet. It has been about an hour late so far. Said the roads are delaying them, bad roads. I can see why, so hoping they come soon. We're trying to get other tows lined up in case, but we only have one bar when I move to a certain area, and it's cold out. Got the Jeep running, the tow truck's here, but the Jeep is not going into gear. It's got all kinds of warning lights even though it started, so I'm guessing electrical issue. But towing service is here, so So hopefully we can get out of here. It is about an hour and a half late, but the roads are terrible. Thompson Express 24-hour touring from Duluth, Minnesota. Came all this way. Said he almost got stuck a few times. Well, we're gonna see what we gotta do to get this thing on the flatbed. Yo. Okay, we made it back to Ryan's place safe. After we got towed back to a dealership, they found an issue with the wire harness. It's from when he hit a deer last year. Looks like it knocked a part of the wire harness loose and it fell down and it was rubbing against the wheel during a wheel hub, and it caused some damage with the communication wires. They got that taken care of. Everything's working fine now. Got here safe, and I learned a lot from this trip. Had a lot of fun, but every day was a new challenge, and I learned a lot of great lessons. I learned what gear works, what gear doesn't, how to make certain gear work, such as the filters. Had a lot of great suggestions from everybody. So I hope to take all this kind of lessons in the future. I'm very upset I didn't get to catch any fish. Overall, great trip. Learned a lot, had fun, and I made it back safe. So going to take some future precautions for next trip, and now I know what to take and what not to take. So that's all I got now. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.